On the night her body was found by the riverbank, people swore they saw a dark shadow slip into the forest. Some said it was a bird, others said it was her spirit, wandering. But all agreed on one thing: her death was not ordinary. The whole community gathered. Her lifeless body lay on the wet sand, her eyes wide open as though still pleading. There was no wound, no blood, only the faint scent of incense and ashes clinging to her skin. And in the hush of that terrible night, a single whisper cut through the crowd. A market woman gasping. It is ritual. They have used Pastor Ezekiel's daughter for ritual. This story was about Rita, the only daughter of Pastor Ezekiel. She was the jewel of her father's eyes, the pride of her mother, the girl who wore beauty like a crown. Her skin glowed like morning palm oil, her smile could melt the harshest elder's heart, but her spirit was restless. To understand how such a fate befell Rita, you must first step into her father's house. Pastor Ezekiel was not an ordinary man. His church was the fastest growing in IMO state. His sermons could make sinners tremble, his prayers could bring the sick back from the edge of death. To the world, he was a holy man. To his congregation, he was untouchable. But inside his home, Rita was a storm he could not control. Her mother talking to her with soft voice. Rita, Biko, don't slam the door. Your father is praying. Rita cold, dismissive. Mama, let him pray for himself. I am tired of living like a prisoner in this house. From a young age, Rita refused to be the quiet, obedient daughter her father wanted. While other pastors' children sat in the choir, Rita snuck out through the back gate. While others wore long skirts, Rita loved short gowns that made heads turn. Her beauty drew men like flies to honey, but it also drew envy, gossip, and temptation. And in her rebellion, Rita found a boy. His name was Chike. He was not a member of the church, nor the type of boy a pastor's daughter should love. He was tall, handsome, with eyes sharp as a hawk and a smile that could make even the coldest girl blush. But behind his charm was hunger. A hunger for wealth, power, and blood. Chike whispering at her ear. Rita, you're too fine to be wasting away in that church of your papa. Look at you, body like fire, face like diamond. You should be living in the city, wearing gold, driving Benz, not kneeling every night for family prayer. Rita said playfully. You will kill me with your sweet mouth, Chike. If my father hears this he will call you demon. Chike smirking. Maybe I am, but I'm the demon you need. Rita laughed, but inside her heart, his words planted seeds. She was tired of being the pastor's daughter. She wanted freedom. She wanted wealth. She wanted to taste the world beyond her father's fence. And Chike offered her all of that. What she didn't know was that his love was poisoned. For Chike belonged to a secret brotherhood, a cult that fed on blood to buy riches. And in their next meeting, the elders demanded a sacrifice. Elder of the cult said, You want power? You want money? Then bring us a maiden of light. Someone pure, someone chosen. The daughter of a holy man will please the spirits. And Chike knew exactly who to bring. Rita's life began to change. She started sneaking out more often, lying to her parents, missing choir rehearsals. She returned home with new clothes, perfumes, even wads of cash. Her mother noticed, but whenever she asked, Rita snapped. Rita, where are you getting these things? Who is buying them for you? Rita rolling her eyes. Mama, must I explain everything? Is it a crime for your daughter to look good? The mother prayed, the father preached, but Rita's heart was already deep in Chike's hands. And slowly, he began to prepare her. Chike softly, holding her hand. Baby, do you love me? Rita said smiling. More than anything. Chike. Then prove it. There's a small gathering. Just come with me. It's nothing serious, just friends who want to meet you. Wear white. Rita did not know, that gathering was no ordinary party. It was the beginning of her journey into the Valley of Shadows. It was a Saturday night. The moon hid behind the clouds, as though ashamed of what it was about to witness. Rita followed Chike into a mansion on the outskirts of town. She wore a flowing white gown, her hair loose, her perfume filling the air. To her, it felt like a secret party. To Chike, It was an initiation. Inside, the house was lit with red candles. Men and women in long robes whispered in corners. Incense burned. On the floor, strange symbols were drawn in chalk. Rita hesitated. Rita whispering, uneasy. Chike, what kind of place is this? This doesn't look like a party. Chike smiling at her reassuringly. Don't worry, my love. These are just my brothers. People of influence. You will meet them, they will admire you. No harm will come to you, I swear. But Rita's spirit stirred uneasily. She remembered her father's sermons flee from every appearance of darkness. Yet Chike's hand was warm around hers, his smile intoxicating. And against her better judgment, she stayed. From the shadows, the cult elder emerged, an old man with hollow eyes. The cult elder cut voice deep and commanding. Is this the maiden you bring? Chike bowed his head slightly. Yes. This is Rita. The elder's eyes scanned her like a butcher eyeing a goat. Rita shivered, clutching Chike's arm. Beautiful. Untouched by darkness. She will do well. Rita frowned and whispered to him. Chike, what is he talking about? Relax, baby. It's just symbolic. They like to talk in riddles. That night, the gathering performed a strange ritual. They danced around the circle, chanting in a tongue Rita did not understand. They poured palm wine on the ground, slaughtered a white chicken, and smeared its blood on her forehead. Rita wanted to scream, but Chike whispered in her ear. Just play along. One night, and you will never lack anything. After that night, Rita changed. At first, it was small. Nightmares haunted her sleep. She saw dark figures chasing her, hands grabbing her in the dark. She woke up sweating, trembling. But Chike always calmed her. My love, these dreams mean nothing. It is the spirits of wealth preparing you. Soon, you will shine like a queen. And indeed, she began to shine. Expensive clothes filled her wardrobe. Chike bought her a smartphone, jewelry, and shoes she had only seen in magazines. She began skipping church entirely. When her father scolded her, she snapped back. Pastor Ezekiel stern, angry. Rita, do you think this life is a game? You are playing with fire. Where are these things coming from? Rita rolling her eyes. Papa, must everything be evil? Not everyone who has money sold their soul. Stop suffocating me with your prayers. Her words pierced his heart like arrows. The man of God who cast out demons could not cast rebellion from his own daughter. And the more he prayed, the further she ran into darkness. One evening, as Rita returned from seeing Chike, she passed by the church compound. An old prayer warrior, Mama Chaka, stopped her. Mama Chaka shaking her head, her voice urgent. Rita, child, the Lord has been showing me dreams. I see blood on your hands. I see a shadow following you. Leave that boy you are following, or you will regret it. Rita snapping, defensive. Enough, Mama. Every time you people see a young girl enjoying life, you start crying blood, shadow, demon. Leave me alone. The woman sighed, her eyes misty. Pride goeth before a fall, my daughter. May God have mercy on you. But Rita's ears were closed. She hurried off, into the arms of the very man sent to destroy her. Weeks later, Chike received the call from his cult elders. The time has come. The spirits are ready. Bring her. Bring her before the next moon. If you fail, your own life will be taken. Chike's hands trembled as he dropped the phone. He loved Rita, or perhaps he thought he did. But love meant nothing to the brotherhood. That night, as they sat together in his car, he held her hand tighter than ever. Baby, how much do you trust me? Rita smiled faintly. With my life. Chike. Then follow me this weekend. One last gathering. After that, we will live like king and queen. And without hesitation, Rita agreed. The night of the ritual came. Rita was dressed in pure white once again. Chike led her through a forest path, deeper and deeper until the trees swallowed the moonlight. She laughed nervously. Rita teasing, playful but uneasy. Chike, are you sure this is not a movie? If my father sees me now, he will collapse. Chike smiled faintly while hiding his fear. Relax, baby. Tonight is the night everything changes. They arrived at the shrine. Candles flickered, skulls lined the altar, and the cult members stood waiting. The elder's voice thundered. Lay her on the stone. The spirits are hungry. Rita froze. For the first time, she realized, this was no game. Chike, what's happening? Why are they looking at me like that? Chike avoiding her eyes, trembling. Just trust me. Rita voice breaking. Chike, answer me. But it was too late. Hands grabbed her, dragging her to the altar. She struggled, screamed, but the chants drowned her voice. And as the knife was raised, her eyes locked with Chike's, filled with betrayal, pain, and a question that would haunt him forever. Rita screaming. Why? The storm outside raged as though the heavens themselves wept. The shrine was alive with fire and shadows. And at its center, Rita lay on the cold stone, her wrists bound, her gown drenched in candle wax and fear. She fought. Oh, she fought like a trapped lioness. Rita screaming. Leave me. Chike, help me. Don't let them touch me. But Chike stood frozen. His hands trembled, his lips quivered. Yet he did not move. The Brotherhood had chained not only Rita, but his soul. The elder lifted the knife, its blade glistening red from the blood of past sacrifices. Cult elder chanting. The Maiden of Light, offered to the spirits of wealth, blood for blood, life for life, and with one swift motion, the blade fell. The chants stopped. The storm paused. Even the forest seemed to hold its breath. Rita's scream echoed once, then vanished into the night. Her eyes, wide, questioning, frozen forever on Chike. Her blood flowed, staining the altar. The spirits had fed. And in that moment, Chike realized, he had killed not just a girl, but a future, a family, a legacy. By dawn, her body was found by the riverbank, carefully laid as if nature itself wanted to return her home. When the news reached Pastor Ezekiel's house, a wail rose that shook the earth. Mema Ruth screaming in anguish. No. My child. My only daughter. God, why? Pastor Ezekiel fell to his knees, unable to speak. The man who preached faith every Sunday, who comforted widows and orphans, now sat broken, clutching his daughter's lifeless body. The church members gathered, their faces pale with fear. Gossip spread faster than fire in Harmattan. Market woman whispering to another. They said it was ritual. Can you imagine? The pastor's daughter, used for money ritual. And so the story spread. Rita, the jewel of the church, had been snatched by the jaws of darkness. Meanwhile, Chike tried to enjoy the wealth the Brotherhood promised. Cars, houses, fine clothes, everything he had dreamed of was now at his fingertips. But wealth could not silence the voice in his head. Rita's voice haunting him. Chike, why? Her voice followed him everywhere. In the quiet of his bedroom, in the laughter of the club, even in the silence of the night. Her eyes stared at him. He began to drink, to smoke, to drown the guilt. But guilt is heavier than stone. It does not sink, it floats to the surface. One night, as he slept, he dreamed of her. Dream sequence. Rita stood by the river, her gown soaked in blood, her hair tangled, her eyes lifeless. She stretched out her hand. Rita whispering to him, "Come with me, Chike." He woke with a scream, sweat pouring down his face. And in the corner of his room, he swore he saw her shadow. The Brotherhood had promised wealth. But they had not told him about the curse. Soon, Chike's life began to unravel. His car crashed mysteriously one night, though he escaped with only scratches. His money vanished as quickly as it came. Business partners betrayed him. Friends abandoned him. And still, Rita's spirit lingered. One night, while drinking at a bar, a madwoman passed by. She stopped, stared at him with wild eyes, and screamed, "Blood! You are soaked in her blood." Everyone turned to look. Chike fled, his shame now public. He returned to the cult for help, but the elder only shook his head. "You fed the spirits, but you let guilt feed you. The spirits hate weakness. Soon, they will collect you too." Pastor Ezekiel, though broken, turned his pain into fire. He began to pray day and night, calling down judgment on whoever had shed his daughter's blood. His voice shook the walls, his tears stained the altar. Pastor Ezekiel crying out, God of vengeance, arise. Show me the enemy. Do not let my daughter's blood cry in vain. The church joined him. And soon, whispers began to surface. People had seen Rita often with Chike. They remembered how she smiled at him, how they walked hand in hand. The suspicion grew. And one Sunday morning, during service, Pastor Ezekiel's voice thundered, Whoever lured my daughter to her death, hear me today, the Lord himself will expose you. The whole town trembled. Even Chike's own shadow shivered. It was barely 2 weeks after Rita's burial when Chike's reckoning came. He staggered home drunk, his head spinning, his chest heavy. As he lay on his bed, the room grew cold. The lights flickered. The air thickened. And then, he heard it. Chike. He sat up, trembling. And there she was, Rita, standing at the foot of his bed. Her gown stained with blood, her eyes hollow, her lips curved in a sad smile. You thought it was over. You thought the spirits would set you free? Chike screamed. But no one heard him. By morning, his neighbors found him lying stiff on the floor, his eyes wide open, just like Rita's. And on his wall, written in blood, were the words, Why? Before the darkness, before the whispers and rebellion. Rita was once a little girl with bright eyes and a laugh that could melt stone. She grew up in the parsonage, always dressed in neat little frocks, her hair braided by Mama Ruth every Saturday night. Every Sunday, she ran barefoot to the choir stand, singing louder than the others. Jesus loves me, this I know. Her father, Pastor Ezekiel, would smile from the pulpit, his chest swelling with pride. Pastor Ezekiel beaming. That is my daughter. One day, she will win souls for the kingdom. How cruel, that the same voice once raised in songs of light, would later cry in the valley of shadows. How tragic, that the same hands that once lifted in worship, would be bound on a cold altar. But Rita's death brought not only grief, it brought scandal. Enemies of Pastor Ezekiel mocked him. Pastor's daughter used for ritual. Man of God cannot save his own household. Holiness or hypocrisy. The church began to divide. Some stayed loyal, others whispered that Pastor Ezekiel was being punished for secret sins. During one service, an elder confronted him openly. Elder Jonah accusing, Pastor, if your God is truly powerful, why did he not save your only daughter? How can we trust your prayers when your own house is cursed? Pastor Ezekiel stood frozen, his Bible trembling in his hand. His eyes, once filled with fire, now brimmed with tears. Pastor Ezekiel voice breaking. I do not know why my daughter was taken. But I know this God is still God. Even in my pain, I will serve him. But his words, though sincere, did little to silence the wagging tongues. His ministry weakened. The once crowded church grew thin. No pain cuts deeper than a mother burying her child. Mama Ruth stopped eating, stopped sleeping. She sat by Rita's room every night, rocking back and forth, clutching her daughter's dresses to her chest. Mama Ruth sobbing softly. My child, my jewel, if only I had held you tighter. If only I had prayed harder. Her health faded. Her voice grew faint. And though people came to console her, nothing could fill the empty space Rita had left. Sometimes, neighbors said they heard Mama Ruth talking to her in the night. Mama Ruth whispering, Rita, are you here? Rita, speak to me, my child. But the only answer was the cold silence of death. One night, Pastor Ezekiel locked himself in the church to pray. His tears soaked the altar. His fists pounded the pulpit. Pastor Ezekiel weeping, desperate. Lord, show me. Why did you allow this evil? Why my only daughter? And suddenly, the church grew still. A cold wind swept across the hall. The candles burned blue. And in a vision, Pastor Ezekiel saw her, Rita, standing barefoot at the altar, her gown white but soaked with blood. Her eyes were both sad and tender. Papa. Pastor Ezekiel falling to his knees, crying, My child, forgive me. I could not protect you. Do not blame yourself. I chose my path. I walked into darkness when I should have stayed in light. Her voice cracked, a mixture of regret and longing. Tell the young ones, warn them, Tell them not every love is true, not every promise leads to light. Some lead only to the grave. And just like that, she faded. The vision was gone. Pastor Ezekiel lay face down, shaking, realizing the truth. Rita's story was not just a tragedy, it was a warning. From that day, Pastor Ezekiel turned his sermons into fire. He spoke less of prosperity, more of purity. Less of blessings, more of obedience. And everywhere he went, he told Rita's story. Pastor Ezekiel preaching passionately. Young people, listen to me. Love can kill. Beauty can deceive. The devil does not always come with horns sometimes. He comes with dimples and sweet words. My daughter thought she was wise, but she fell into the arms of darkness. Learn from her. Do not follow her path. And slowly, Rita's story spread beyond the town. Parents whispered it to their children. Teachers told it in schools. It became a folktale, half warning, half lament. Whenever a young girl was seen with a suspicious boy, people muttered, "Market woman gossiping. Don't end up like Rita." Her name became both a memory and a warning.